In the news today for April the 14th, actually 11th, I want to make sure you're paying attention. 2014, can you believe it? We are almost one quarter of the way down the pike. Well, today we know that earthquakes are going to pick up a lot more all over the world. Matter of fact, back in the late 1970s, the United States, along with Russia, signed a treaty and law that they have technology that can make earthquakes happen. And how they do it is with other things like geometric sound waves, the frequency, or drilling in certain places where faults are. Another thing also they have is where, and you cannot make this up, they can put bombs at weak points in the fault line to trigger earthquakes that might happen in the near future to try to give them a boost long so they will happen. But they're forgetting, even with all their technology and stuff, to be able to do this, it is part of the Weather Modification Treaty bill. So that was kind of conglomerated in that, and that was from the 1970s, the late 1970s. They actually, both Russia and the United States, signed this into law. Now, let me actually explain this too also. Don't forget that God's going to be shaking things up too. So I think most of the earthquakes that really do happen won't be because of a weapon being released or somebody doing it. I think God is the one that's going to be shaking a lot more things up more so than man trying to do it. And that talks about then in the Bible that there will be a major shaking all over the earth. That's what it tells us in Revelation. A major shaking will take place on the earth. Now, it's already happened one time already in the Old Testament where the earth stood still, a violent earthquake took place when there was a war between the aliens, the demonic aliens that came to the earth. This is a true story. It was Gideon and humanity against these alien-like creatures that landed in a spaceship. It was a saucer. They call it a disc in Isaiah. Or Job talks about discs, but they were saucers. Well, that was where the big earth, where the earth majorly shook and stood still for 24 hours. Literally 24 hours, not 1,000 years, but 24 hours, one day of time, just like the same day when God created mankind. He created everything in 7 literal days, but rested on the 6th day. And that's basically what happened here in this battle, was one literal day, 24-hour day. I want to make that clear. And I want to correct a few things yesterday on the spiritual news side, before we get into more headlines and breaking news. We try to tell you all this stuff to not scare you, but to inform you and to prepare you so you start getting prepared. Getting your water together, getting your medications together, getting some cash together, having all those things, for your pets, and food for yourself, perishable foods, or non-perishable foods is what I meant to say, not perishable. Having clean filtered water, you need to have a couple of jugs. You need to have at least 3 gallons a day for each person in the home. So if you have a pet, you need to have 3 gallons. You need to have 3 gallons for your pet a day, and have 3 gallons for yourself. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to drink all that, but it's also for food, and also for washing your hands, and also for washing your face off. You want to use clean filtered water when the water is too contaminated to use out the faucet. You want to make sure you have this done in advance. So these are things as a preparation. We're trying to warn you. We're not trying to scare you, make you go hide and say, I'm going to give up and hide your head. No, we want to inform you. That's what the InfoWars does, and that's what we do here at the Silver's Media. The Freedom Network, want to inform you so you make the proper plans, because a lot of the scholars and a lot of Bible people also, it says that the United States is not listed among the nations that will be around at the end of the world. And they are not around because they get absorbed by other nations. I mean, they're conquered by other nations and conquered and also destroyed from within. So, this is true prophecy here. It doesn't mean it has to be this way, but it is going to be this way. When the time comes, this United States will be one day no more, because according to prophecy and according to Scripture and a great deal of scholars, they basically all say the same thing. Now, we don't have to escalate that process, but I do believe that there will be more false flags that will be manufactured by our government to scare people and to try to keep people to toe the line, to give them a perfect excuse to roll out martial law nationwide. And that's how they were able to get the premise to do it in other places, in other countries around the world already. And that's why we need to be aware of this. If you have the internet, you need to look at that stuff on the internet, or how they did it, so that we can try to hold this back. There's a big land grab going on all over the United States. Matter of fact, David Keffin, he's the guy that owns a lot of land and casinos, and also owns a lot of things, and he's a criminal. And he's the one that's largely behind the big land grab that's going on right now in Nevada, right now. And in fact, they had threats on the internet today, and this is serious stuff. You can't make it up. If anyone comes there and tries to take the land where roads were blocked off, they're threatening to kill people and put them in body bags. This is talk you would never think you would hear in America, in a country that's supposed to be free. But yet we got it going on. So, that's what really, upsets me as a preacher, because that should not be going on. And you should be upset about it too, if you really care for your country. If you are a true American patriot, like you say you are. Now, but this is not to scare you, really. This is just to help you to be informed. You need to know what's going on so you know how to prepare. That's all it's about. That's all we're doing here, folks. We need your donations so we can continue to do our operations here, just like InfoWars. I work separate from InfoWars. I don't get no money from Uncle Sam, and I would not take it because it's blood money. The only kind of money I take is when you buy our products, like the wipes, and when you buy the lanterns. They're $65, but that's expensive, I know, because the lantern really costs $45 plus shipping, with the shipping and everything. But the $20 goes towards to support our media operation here at DeSilva's Media, for not the business of DeSilva's Media, but for the channel. DeSilva's Media is a channel as well as a business, but it only functions to support the channel on YouTube. The internet bandwidth, the electricity, the licensing, and all those things that are involved to have a channel. This stuff costs, okay? The time, the equipment, like the camera I'm shooting through to show my pretty face to you and to share all this stuff with all you lovely faces out here, is the same thing what we're doing here, and it all has costs. Now, YouTube is free, but there's a lot of cost involved, and that's why we need your support to buy our products or to send anonymous donations so we can continue to get this out to you, because it costs money to get this information. It costs people's lives. There's resources. It costs things to do this, and that's where you come in, because we're the reality media, like Alex Jones and I say. All the other ones are just all dead dinosaur, corrupt media, where they've been bought off by the banks, global banks, and government and corporate interests. We have not been bought off, and neither would I take any money from any of those entities to be bought off, because we are independent media, and we're the ones that are on top. So that's where we come in. That's where you come in and have a part to be involved by giving and buying the products that we sell here. The blow-off duster, the blow-off wipes, the lanterns, like I said, anything you want to buy, we can get it for you at a discount, plus you help us. A little commission goes towards it to help. So, computer work, all that sort of stuff. All many ways how you can get involved to help this broadcast. And, of course, a lot of you nice people are doing that. Appreciate it. And, of course, it is doing a major thing to get the word out and to let people know and to help wake people up in the resistance so that they can know what to resist against. Because I believe you should follow all authority if they are being lawful. But if they're not being lawful and they go against the morals and laws of the way it's set up according to God, then you need to resist against them. Like if they say, well, I need to take your children to rape them, then you're not going to follow that order to give your children to them, because that's not going against the laws. Or if they say, well, I can go out and just gangbang your wife because I'm a government official. No, that's not moral. You don't respect authority when you're doing things, those kinds of things, okay? Because that goes against the moral codes and ethics of what God set up. So that's what we have to look at, okay? So there's a fine line. When you're doing the laws and morals of the land, then you need to respect the authority if they're being legal and respecting and following the laws themselves. But if they're being a corrupt government that's going against the laws, and that's when you have to draw a line in the sand. That's what the scripture in Romans 13 teaches. If you read it and you study it, that's exactly what it says. And that's what Jesus said. Jesus was very radical against that, and that's what we taught. Remember, we did a series on Romans 13. You can read. You can go back on YouTube and watch it on demand on your time whenever you want to. All 12 or 14 episodes of it, and get a whole lot of nuggets out of it, because it's really what Romans 13 really is consisted about. But anyway, that's just a little plug on that. And I hope it helps you, because that's why I took the love and the time and the research and effort to do this. So it would help you understand it better scripturally. Since I am a preacher, of course, that's my job, to do the research and to get the materials together. Plus, we were using a book by Chuck and Chuck and Charles Baldwin. We were using his book, but we actually added more stuff to it as well. You know, we take his word and then we add more, do the author, and then we add more stuff to it with other research. That's what I did. I attempted to do there when we did that series. So that's why it doesn't sound the same like the book. Matter of fact, a lot of people said it sounded better than the book because it's more information. It was more current than when the book was written. So, you know, that's what we try to do here. We go the extra mile with the research and we get the right and accurate information. I wanted to say yesterday when I said in the news, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to say raptured. I meant to say we are resurrected. We are raised from the dead. Because when you're raptured, it means you're taken out of here right away. But when Jesus says we are raised, in the Greek, it means we're instantly raised. We're not raptured out here. We're not disappeared. We're raised up from the dead like Jesus was. We'll instantly go up to be with him in the clouds to go to Shekinah glory, where his home is, and where heaven is. That's where we will one day be if we are saved Christians. If we're not saved, then we'll go to Hades, and then we'll end up in the lake of fire, damnation, and torment of hell. And that's where you go when you fall away or when you don't believe. So that's what the difference is, Hades and heaven. So I want to clear that up. But everything else on there is about the burial and all, that's all accurate. I just messed up on the rapture. It says saying resurrected, raised. So please forgive me for that. And of course, I wanted to make sure you all understood that. I made a mistake there, so I want to clear that up today. So, you know, we just got to be careful because there's a land grab going on all over America. Not only that, the dollar continues to drop in value, which is going to cause further escalation in time if it continues to go on that steady course. Obama, along with his administration, who is working with him and not against it, is trying to collapse America. That is what his plan is. If you get his book in Audacity, it tells you exactly what his father said through the words that Obama written by his hand or typed up on a word processor or hired somebody to do it or however he did it. It actually tells exactly what he wants to do here in America, what his father envisioned America to be. A third world country, or even worse than a third world country, not even to be a country. And that's what Obama is doing. And if you get the book Audacity and you read it, you'll see exactly what it says in there, exactly what I'm telling you. Because that's what it really does, blow by blow. That's exactly what Obama is really doing. He lays out his agenda that his father wanted to do in the book for Obama to do. And that's what Obama is doing. So, you know, like I said, there's a lot of criminals in the government, but there are a lot of good people in the government. Just like we had, I was talking to somebody today we had a memorial service for one of the people that passed away over on the other side today. And they had a luncheon over there. And I was a preacher, so since I was over there, I went and visited with the family and talked with them and that sort of thing. And they were telling me that one of the members in their family got arrested when he was in Richmond, and there was a cop that was a bad cop. And there are good cops in Richmond that I know personally that are really good cops, and they're nice. But this one cop was an idiot because he arrested somebody. And he had the right to carry the weapon on his side. It was concealed, but because he saw it sticking out a little bit on the end, because weapons usually do stick out on the end when you grab them, so you can pull them out of the holster to fire them if you need to. So yeah, we'll show a little bit. So since it was showing, he brought up these false charges. Of course, I don't know if they still took him to court or they already did, but they should be able to sue the city for the unjust jail time and be able to get that money for that. Because he was arrested on a false pretenses. And see, you know, that goes example of many people being arrested under false trumped up charges because police think they get a power trip, and some of them, not all of them, but some of them, like I said, they're bad cops, but I know a lot of good cops in Hanover and good in Henrico and Richmond and all around. There's a whole lot of good people, and I'm proud of those that are doing the right thing and not doing those orders or following the orders that the people were trying to get them to do to terrorize and harass, you know, the population. So I want to give a salute out to those cops that do the right thing every day and not do those things that they've been trained to do, you know, to be, you know, fully, you know, not to use any restraint when they go to apprehend somebody. Instead of, you know, analyzing the situation and seeing what they're doing, they're not going crazy and just going and, you know, tasering somebody when they can't walk or because they can't talk. You're going to shoot them because they didn't listen to you because they couldn't hear you. Instead, you go and find out if they're deaf. And if they're deaf, then you know why they didn't hear you. You know, where instead of that one cop that went and shot, you know, it was a year ago where a cop shot this man because he didn't come out of his apartment because he was so scared he had a heart attack. And so the people sued the police department in Richmond for those cops who did that. And, you know, in some cases, some cops, I'm not saying the Richmond ones did, but they won that suit. Evidently, it was $1 million or so settlement. But it didn't bring their son back, who was handicapped, you know, or veteran. It did bring him back, but, you know, they got the money, but it doesn't replace the son that was killed innocently because, you know, he couldn't move because he had a heart attack. So, you know, that goes to show you we have a lot of that going on, but, you know, and it's going on all over the country. That's just 2 instances that I can know here in Virginia, just to let you know that some of it's going on. What about the guy that was walking with his son and he had a gun, but it wasn't loaded, and he had it carried on his chest? It's not against the law to carry a gun out in the open if it's hanging on your chest on a strap. But a cop stopped him because he was walking on the road and arrested him and, you know, threw him up against the vehicle. And this, I don't know where this was, but it was somewhere. I know it's down in Texas, I think. And this was last year. A lot of people forget about this stuff. People got small memories, but I don't forget it. You know, so there are bad cops that are working in our law enforcement too. You know, bad people in every job. But there are a lot of good people still in there too that really feel the same way like I do. And they do the right thing instead of listening to what headquarters tells them. And yeah, they might lose their job because they're not doing what they want them to do, but so what? I'm not going to go and cause unjust harm to somebody when they don't deserve it. And I'm not going to make up stuff or have a power trip because I wear a badge on my chest saying that I can get away with anything because I have the power to do so if I want to at my discretion, when really that's not the truth. We all are accountable for the laws and things that we do, and so we all must follow them. And so, you know, there's no different for a cop or a detective or anyone or a government official, anybody. So we all got to follow the same laws, and the same rules apply to everybody. Not just some of us or certain classes, but everybody. It's supposed to be that way, the way it's set up originally from God. So, you know, that's something you have to think about. And like I said, really this is just to prepare you and to inform you. You know, this is just, really devastating what's going on. They want to put tasers on us. You know, we go on an airplane so they can control us and try to get us to submit to their rule. You know, they'll try to come up with some kind of excuse to invent some kind of thing to cause martial law. If a couple cities get attacked in this country, that would make it all nationwide, which will make things furthermore escalate with the cops and all that are unnecessary, because people are already mad and almost to the breaking point of doing that now. Now they got the land grabs going, and that's going to probably cause some things to happen, evolution maybe that happened on the brink of happening here in the near future. So, you know, what I'm saying is this is not good stuff. You know, we're supposed to be the land of the free. We're supposed to get along. We're supposed to work with each other, and we're supposed to have authorities that we're supposed to trust and not have crooked, criminals working for the authorities. And the TSA they don't grab too many people's genitals that much anymore, because a lot of people in most places, but now because people have fought back and, a lot of them have gotten sued, so they don't pat you down there that much anymore, from what I hear in a lot of airports. I'm not saying they don't do it at all, but they do in a lot of airports. They don't do that anymore because, people, took them to court and they got tired of being sued, so they backed off on that a little bit. But they still do, run you through the thing and the metal detectors and all. And a lot of them don't do that because they enjoy it. However, there may be some in there that are little pedophiles, and they really are working for the TSA. But there are a lot of them in there that are really just doing it because they're honest, law-abiding men and women, and they're just doing it because they need a job. They need somebody to pay their bills. That's why they're doing it, not because they want to be pedophiles or they want to fill your junk. No, or they don't want to do all that stuff because they enjoy it. It's because they're doing it to pay the bills, and they don't really like doing what they're doing, because a lot of them have admitted that off the camera. But there's some that probably do get a joy out of it, because like I said, there's always some bad people in every profession. So that's the news today for April the 11th, 2014. I'll shoot up another update tomorrow. Peace for now. I'll see you later. Subscribe down below. Subscribe down below. Tell us what you know. Subscribe down below. Tell us what you know. Tell us what you know. It's in the news. In the news. See you later.